Today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is going to be so fantastic, and partly because of our amazing sponsor, Executive Help Now. Executive Help Now is your virtual assistant service agency that's all about simplifying your business so that you can focus on what really matters. From streamlining operations to managing administrative tasks and keeping everything organized, our team is here to help you thrive. Hit us up at www.executivehelpnow.org. Y'all, today's guest is even more amazing. His name is Steve Ramona, and he is a unique super connector who builds impactful partnerships through personalized introductions. His remarkable portfolio involving $5 billion in projects and over $125 million in partner deals showcases the incredible value he brings to every partnership. Steve is dedicated to facilitating connections that yield results. His introductions are not just emails. They include tailored video explanations that add a personal touch and make each connection meaningful. Showcasing the incredible value he brings to every partnership. And in addition to this, his partnership work, Steve also hosts the popular podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart, which reaches an audience of over 50,000 people per episode and continues to grow. Y'all, put your hands together for Steve Ramona. Hey!
Hey, Renee. What a powerful introduction. You are an absolute rock star.
Aw, you are too kind. I bet you say that to all the girls.
You know me so well.
Well, Steve, I am so excited to have you here on our show. When you invited me to be a guest on your show, it was truly thrilling. And I was so grateful. And the connections that you made for me are still, the ripple effect of that is still just so impactful. And I'm so grateful to you. So I'm ultimately honored to have you now on my show to share with us and our audience all the gifts and skills and golden nuggets of wisdom that you have to share with us. So thank you so much for being here today.
You're very welcome. I can't wait to motivate, inspire, and educate your audience.
Awesome. Thanks. So tell us, Steve, how you got started. Why is being a connector so important?
Well, at a young age of 18, 48 years ago, 40, whatever that time is, I'm an older guy. My family, I left graduate high school. Yeah, I did graduate, which is fantastic. But when I graduated, I needed a job because what do you do as a graduate senior? You want to go to the party, beach, all that great stuff. So my family had launched a health club about a year and a half before. And my cousin Jeff reached out and said, hey, would you like to work the front desk? I said, yeah, I need a part-time job. And as I worked the front desk, 40, 50, 60-year-olds were coming in. People that were, powerful is not the right word. People that were mentoring me. And all I was doing was, Tony, have a great workout. Tony, have a great day. Jim, have a great workout. Jim, have a great day. And those conversations turned into, hey, Tony, how's your workout going? Great. Well, don't forget about doing your cardio. Great. Hey, Tony, how's your grandkids? Hey, Jim, did you have that baby yet? Hey, did you get that promotion? You can see what's happening here. I was building relationships at 18, 19 years old with very wealthy, very powerful, great guys and great women. And it's funny, I built such a big network within 5 to 10 years. People were laughing and they said, if you got married, you have to rent the Oakland Coliseum. You're going to have like 40,000 people, because I would walk through the gym and meet people. But what I did was, and I didn't realize then, I do now, is I was bringing them value. I was serving them.
Yes, absolutely. And when people wrap their head around that they're providing a service, they are serving other people with their gifts and with their natural skills and with their natural talents, which you started at 18 years old. So having this servant's mentality or this servant's heart, it has no age. There's no limit to who can do this and who's qualified. Because like you said, it just starts with, hey, how you doing? Right? Uh-oh, something happened to your audio, Steve. We can't hear you. And Marie says that building relationships is one word at a time. Absolutely, 100%, Marie. We agree that the more connections you make, the more words you put together one at a time, the more influence you start to develop. The more people you start to know, the more people know that they can rely on you to be the connector of the people. Right? So, yeah, so it is so important, because I've heard it said that your network is your net worth. So the more we can build our network, the more community we can have with other people, the more we can shore up the foundation of our own businesses and impact the lives of others as they are going through their day, as they're looking to meet new people, as they are trying to, make more connections. The more people we know, the more people we can refer to them, the more gaps we can fill in not only their lives, but then also the lives of other people who they might need to get to know. But we wouldn't be in a position to do that if we didn't speak that first word, if we didn't come out of our shell and say, hey, how's it going? I see you over here noticing these particular things. Aren't these interesting? Strike up a conversation, start some small talk, get to know people. It's really easier than it seems. It really is quite easy if you just come out of yourself and just be friendly and be curious. Be curious about the things that other people are curious about. Yes, absolutely. And so Steve is such an expert at being the connector of people, striking up those small talk type conversations to start building things. As he mentioned, when he was 18, it started out with, hey, Jim, how's it going? To, hey, Jim, how are things at work? Building relationship is so important when it comes to developing your network so that you will be a wise connector of connectors. Is that right,
That's so true. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Welcome back.
Man, you could keep talking. You could run the whole show for me. You're such the expert.
No, thank you, sir.
I love it. No, and it's interesting. What I was going to say before a little technical difficulties is one tip to do this, to build that relationship, is say people's names. You read their name. So what I did at the health club, my staff would all the time would go, well, Jeff, you're telling me to remember people's names, but we have 1,000 people around. How am I going to remember everybody? We'll look at the computer screen when they check in. Hey, Renee. Right. They don't know if you did that. And people don't care. Don't care if you read their name tag. It is such a powerful little thing you can do. I have served so many people doing that. And a quick example, eating at a restaurant, and the waiter's great. The waitress is great. I just did this last week. I called the manager over and said, tell her to call the manager over. And the first thing that happens is they start talking like, "Uh-oh, what happened?" Right away, they go, "What did you do wrong?" The manager comes over and goes, "How can I help you? What's going on?" I said, "She's fantastic. If I had a restaurant, I'd hire her. Debbie was so good." Well, this manager was shaking because they expected something bad. She stops. She shakes my hand. "Oh, my God, thank you. It means a lot." I say, "How often do you hear that?" Across the board, managers at restaurants hear it once or twice a month.
Wow.
We need to be better customers, better serving as customers, as well as a business needs to have better customer service.
Absolutely. So, and I think too that I may be going down a rabbit hole here, but customer service today is not the same as it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And so when we get amazing customer service, we need to tell the world, like tell everybody, but especially the manager, right? The manager, they made a good hire, that they have done something right. I mean, because managers have so much on them, and sometimes they feel like they're not doing anything right, but they have, and they all often are. But for someone to tell them, "You're doing great. You made an amazing decision hiring this waiter or waitress because they were phenomenal."
Yeah, love it.
Yes. And Nia says she agrees. People love hearing their name. It makes the interaction feel more personal. Yes, absolutely, Nia.
Yes.
So so Steve, I think that's amazing advice. Wonderful and not even put yourself under pressure to remember everybody's name, especially when you have access to their information on a computer screen or on a name tag.
Yeah, you can find it. Yeah. And if you're a business owner, imagine you walking around and you walk up to your bookkeeper who you don't talk to very often and go, "Hey, Debbie, great job today. What is that? How far is that service going to carry?" Like Nia said in a powerful message, which she said, it's a simple act with a huge ROI.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. So then, Steve, what inspired you to start doing business with a servant's heart and Together We Serve?
I've always, when I have clients, I want to give them more. I call it the chin and nose effect. And I made this up, so laugh at me out there if you want, but I think it's kind of cool. I can serve at my chin level if you're watching this. And it's good. I've served, I've helped you, Renee, I've done something, but I want to go to the nose level. I want to go to the next level. So I always did a shout out to my, and we're close here. Now I'll go to my nose. So what I'm doing is I'm giving more value. I'm serving more. So I take my clients and I post them on LinkedIn, go, "Hey, have you talked to Renee? Da, da, da. Here's what she does." I don't see a lot of it on LinkedIn. So when I got introduced to podcasts, I'm like, what a powerful way of promoting and highlighting my clients to become guests. And it just blew up. The first 20 were clients were like, "Oh my God, this is great." They loved it. Our company looked better. But then they started introducing me to very successful businessmen, NFL athletes I've met. Bob Berg, who wrote the Go Giver book, Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI, extremely successful people. And my network started growing. Again, just like in the day at 18, when those people are walking into the club, now they're walking into my podcast. Wow. My podcast, all those numbers that you gave came because of my podcast. Building my network and asking, "Hey, here's what I need help in." "Well, here's a project that's $1 billion project. I want you to work on it."
Wow. That's amazing. That's the power of podcasting. So shout out to anybody who has thought about doing a podcast, that this obviously, Steve, is living proof that yes, this is how you can grow a successful business, is through your podcast. And if it's too much work for you to do, hit us up at Executive Help Now. Just saying. So
yeah, and I'll add to that. Let's piggyback. We're going to partner right now, me and Renee. This is weird and different on a podcast, but what I do is I do free 1-hour podcast mentoring every month. Not the production side, but how to do the podcast as a host. Now, I have ways if you want to do it yourself. If people want to get a production They go to Renee. This is exactly what I do is I look at ways how people can partner. Because what does this say? The more people in the community, the more ability to grow.
Yes. The more people in the community, the more the ability to grow.
Yep.
100. I love that. And so, Maria also says that personal interaction, especially speaking one's name, is so important to me. Giving accolades may make someone's day even more special. So thank you, Marie, for sharing that. And Lucille says, happy Friday, everyone. But yes, Steve, we have to be intentional about the connections that we make. Yeah. We have to be, and use every platform we have available to shout out people, to let people know about how great other people are. I love that you use LinkedIn. I love that you use your podcast. I love that you use every opportunity to showcase people, because, and it's not just good for them, but it's great for you and your business as well.
Yep. The intentional aspect is a hard thing for a lot of people. And I don't want to be controversial, but just do it. Nike said that phrase way back in the day, just do it. Because you saw all my results, but people so worry about ROI with serving, with being intentional, people's names. The universe loves it. Yeah. Because when I go out and serve, like I served the guy just before this show, he didn't have any idea what we're jumping on. By the time we got done, I helped him out. He was like, oh my God, this has been incredible. And I get a lot of emails because when I jump on a one-on-one to meet somebody, my first thought and mindset is, how can I bring value? That's it.
Wow.
How can I transform them? I say transformational, not transactional. You follow that, you will grow your income, your network, your life, your love, your family.
I love that. Transformational, not transactional. We have to wrap our minds around that when it comes to relationships, that it's not just a transactional type of thing. These connections that we're making are going to transform people's lives, whether it's personally, whether it's their business. And I love that you offer a podcast host training for people to learn how to do this and how to do it well. So definitely, we're of course going to get your information and share it with our audience so that people can stay in touch, and definitely like, share, and follow you, and just be waiting with bated breath for every episode to drop.
And here's the power of serving. I'm now starting to get an abundance. What's that going to allow me to do? And anybody else out there listening, when you get abundance, you can serve more, and you can serve more, and you can transform people more. I want to tell a story before we still got time, but I got to tell this story about being intentional. So I tell people all the time, and this is a great tip for you out there. You haven't had a good day. Somebody didn't show up for meetings. A contract didn't get signed. We have these things happen all the time in our day. Well, what I do is I say, stop, get away from that, and go serve somebody. And here's a perfect story that happened to me 3 years ago. 2 p.m., things didn't happen. A big contract didn't get signed. I was down. And I don't leave at 2 o'clock from my office, but I'm done for the day. I give up. I don't give up. But today I give up. I give in to the universe. Today's not the day. So I go to the grocery store and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to buy this person's groceries. And the clerk, I'm in California near the beach. And this guy was a surfer dude, long hair and cool dude, because I've seen him before. And he's like, dude, nobody buys people's girl. What are you doing? I said, just a calling. I want to do this. So I eventually buy her groceries and I buy mine. I'm walking out. She's tearing up. And I was getting emotional and worried. Like, her name was Debbie. I said, Debbie, because she's holding the baby. And probably part of the reason I did is because she had a baby. I don't know. But when she started tearing up, she said to me, you don't know what you just did. I said, well, I didn't want to upset you. No, stop, Steve. My husband lost his job last week. I don't know how we're going to pay for groceries today. We're looking at leverage. You gave us another week or two of groceries that we don't have to worry about him finding another job. So we hugged, tearing up. And yes, I did a good thing, but let's expound on it. Let's go from the chin to the nose again. Because I don't know the shoes she's walking in, but now I do. What is she going to do when she gets home? Here's the most powerful one. She's going to tell her husband. But what are they going to do? Most of the time, they're going to pay it forward. The world's missing this these days. It's stopped. We don't want to do it. We don't want to offend people. Hey, if she said no, I wouldn't have done it. She kind of said no, but I think in her heart, she's like, well, we need the help. Steve's offering the help. I'm going to take it.
Right.
Which is the other lesson.
Right. That is a great lesson, because I think so many people have a hard time being the recipient of good things happening to them. And that, I think, is a sad state of humanity, where it's not normal to feel good if somebody wants to do something nice for you. So I know that left such an indelible impact on her and her husband. And I can almost 100% guarantee you that when they were in a position to pay it forward, they absolutely paid it forward. 100%.
Yep. And here's the thing about serving, I get asked all the time. People are worried about the ROI. Hey, I got to pay bills. We all have to pay bills. We all have, some can pay, some. Again, that's transactional. I got to pay bills, so I got to pitch Renee. No, transformational, because it will change.
Right.
The universe will talk to you. And I mention this a lot because it's talking to me and other people I mentor. It's done the same thing. And the ask part I didn't do for a long time. And once I did, game changer for my life.
Yeah, I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So then what does serving before selling mean to you?
Yeah, I love this part of it. You jump on a call, say it's a prospect call. Let's use that example. You're going to be my prospect. You're going to buy my coaching for $10,000. Well, I jump on, discover, what are you doing? I tell you what I do. Here's some things I heard. By the way, I use this principle. And audience, if you got a pen and paper, write this down. I'm very proud of it. It's called ASLA. Take some notes. ASLA principle. ASLA. I know it's a funny name, but I like saying it. ASLA. It's ask, shut up, listen, ask. Now, people go, well, if I'm shutting up, am I listening? And I just use the example of Zoom rooms. You're in a meeting and people's screen goes black. It might be a legitimate reason, but let's go down to the granular level of, are they really listening to what I'm saying? No. Because they're being distracted. That's why they got it off. Now, maybe some people are sick or whatever, but you use this principle on every prospect meeting that you have. You ask a question. What's your challenges? I shut up and listen. You tell me your challenges. Then I ask another question. I'm learning all about that person. That's serving. That's serving them. I'm not selling them. And then I go, guess what? I hear you say these two things. Here's where I can help you. Would you be interested? Well, what's your program? How much? And I get into all that. Here's the most powerful tip I'll give you, audience, today. I'm so excited about this. Is that when they say, no, I'm not ready, I got to talk to my wife. It'll be controversial. A lot of salespeople, I keep pushing. You don't need to talk to your wife. That's not serving.
No.
So what you do is you go, no problem. Let's follow up in a couple of weeks, as a salesperson, get a date set. Let's follow up and see where you're at. But serve them even more. Because what is happening in a conversation when somebody says no to you? They're uncomfortable. Steve, I'm sorry, but I can't afford it right now. I love what you're doing. I'm a little bit hurt subconsciously. And I'm like, well, how do I respond to that? Do I, you could say I'll follow up and all that, but let's go chin to nose again, chin to nose. So they've said no, and you set up a follow-up. But then you go, hey, Renee, you said these couple of things. I've got a great resource for you. For LinkedIn, you mentioned you're on LinkedIn. I've got this tool you can use. It's fantastic. Check it out. Are they going to remember you later?
Yes.
It takes all the stress away of that no, to where I've had clients, or not clients, people I've mentored, that a month later somebody said, oh my God, the person reached out and they actually hired me because how I handled the no.
Wow. That is so incredibly amazing. And Fritzy says, ASLA, thank you, Steve, for these helpful tips. Yeah, these are so, so, so good. And I love that even if they say no, like, and this is, Steve, I'm telling you, you are truly blessing my socks off right now because I'm in this new space of sales. And I put that in air quotes, sales, because that's not my, I'm going to say what's not mine. But anyways, I have other natural gifts and skills and talents. Okay. And so to know how to navigate these conversations, these types of conversations, so that they don't seem so salesy, but to actually be more of taking an interest in someone. And even if they say no to what we have to offer, still keeping in mind parts of the conversation that I could help with later on. So like you said in your example, maybe they mentioned something about being on LinkedIn. Well, then you hook them up with this tool that helps them take even more advantage of LinkedIn in a more strategic way. You're adding value to their lives, and they've done nothing for you except give up their time to you, which is fine, which is absolutely wonderful because time is money, you know, in most cases. But you were able to add value to their life, and they were able then, like you said, to get a job or make that right connection or whatever that looks like, because you continue to come from a place of serving as opposed to selling. So that's amazing. That is so good for business. And I hope everyone in the audience is taking notes. And Tiana said that people say no for different reasons. That's right. The budget, timing, trust, or just not seeing the need. And understanding why helps turn them into a future yes. Thank you, Tiana. No truer words been spoken, except Steve's.
And I love that because that's a sales strategy, which is very important. The serving part is a mindset part. Serving before selling, it's all mindset. I guess it is a strategy, but to me, it's a mindset because I'd rather have you today. I don't sign you up today as a client, but say it's 4 weeks later because we built a relationship, we've passed emails, maybe text, you ask questions, maybe I give you another referral. They're going to last so much longer as a client, and you're going to get more referrals from that than me pitching you today. Renee, you need this. If you want to get to $1 million, you need my coaching. Why are you not signing up? Why? Here's the link. Let's go. And you do it. We're starting off on the wrong foot. We've not built a relationship. Not serving before selling. Now, I'm not saying you can't do a one-call sale. When you do, you better keep serving. That's a whole nother avenue too once you have the client, but people get that.
Right, but you can't force people to do things that they don't want to do. Like you said, that is not a way to start a meaningful relationship. And when you go into business with somebody, that's what it is. It is a relationship. And so it's not something that you force or demand or whatever. That doesn't feel good at all. Like not even a little bit from the beginning. So it's like doomed to fail.
Well, it is. And the other thing I talk about that I've learned over, I'm 63, probably 40 years, me and you, Renee, and all of you listening and watching, you're in the people business. They're investments, they're assets. What do you do with your money when it's an investment? You want it to grow. You compound, you build it, you do the right things. I think it's the same way with people, because if you're working with one client or 500 clients, your employees, your family, your friends, whoever, we need people to run our business, whatever that looks like. So why in the hell not serve them? Excuse my language. Why not just be a servant? Now, here's the flip side. When you got somebody that's not engaging or not being a servant or not fitting, a servant will also say, hey, Steve, Ramona, you don't fit as a salesperson. You don't fit our culture. We're going to have to let you go. But here again is chin to nose, chin to nose. But Steve, you know what? I've got a friend that runs this business. You're a perfect fit for them. I'm going to introduce you to him. I think he has a job for you. Again,
Wow.
a conversation that can be so, oh my God, I have to let this person go. And they're like, I got to lose my job. I got a family. You go and serve, it changes the whole dynamic of that conversation and that relationship. Because maybe they come back later and buy your company. I've heard things like that.
Right,
Never know.
right.
Never know.
Wow. Yeah, you just never know. You just never know. And I think, first of all, it's wise to discover when people are not a good fit sooner than later, so that the impact is less intense or less impactful, or it has less implications. But then, instead of, like you said, just letting them go, providing them with an opportunity to operate in their gifts somewhere else. You know, because maybe their particular gifts that they have are not the ones that you need in your business right now. Right?
Yep.
So I got that.
Yeah, it's great, great messaging. I love it. So, audience, what an incredible host. I'm so blessed to be here.
You are too kind, Steve. I promise. Just too kind. So when you're making introductions and building these meaningful connections, how do you ensure that the connections are beneficial to both parties?
First, it's an introduction referral. I call them introductions. And what's an introduction? Renee, meet Jake, who I did an introduction to. I'm not responsible for the outcome. It's just, and I've had people, very rarely, people go, why did you introduce me to that person? One, it's probably happened 2 or 3 times. In, I did 1,800 referrals last year. 1,800 people I referred over the whole year. But a little less this year because I'm busy. But, I just did 5 referrals this morning.
18. Hold on. I think we got some hand claps or something in the background. 1,800 referrals. Something to celebrate. So thank you so much for such an.
I appreciate that. I do, and I'm proud that I do that because I love doing them. But when again, it's back to the ASLA principle. I listen. I ask questions, and then as they're talking about it, I'm going, okay, Renee's a fit here. Oh, Doug's a fit here. And they'll go, hey, I've got Doug Dvorak. He's a big sales guy. I think he'd be a great guest on your podcast. Would you be it? Yeah. Okay. And I do my introduction. So I bring on the value add. I don't do a lot of, hey, here's somebody who'll be a great client. Probably 20% of my introductions are that way. Because I believe in partnerships. Because here's the thing, audience. I want you to think about this. You meet one person, and I'll use Renee, and I treat her well. She doesn't become my client. We've never been transactional. But how many people can she refer me when I treat her right, when I serve her?
Right.
Here's the ROI. I get 3 to 5 referrals daily for the last 18 months. You got to meet Steve. Like guy today I met, hey, she said, I got to meet with you. Well, I followed through with serving him. Hey, what a great podcast. What a great TV show. It's unbelievable. It can be a little overwhelming. That's why you need to hire a wonderful service like Renee has, because you're going to get busy, because that's the ROI. When you're out there treating people right, it goes out and people get it. Right. I got a referral 4 weeks ago, Renee, from somebody I had met a year ago. I've never talked to. We jumped on Discovery Call, March of 2023, and I get this email. Hey, Jim, you got to meet Steve. Oh, my God, he's great. I met him. I think you said I met him a year ago. He's got a great podcast. I think he can help you. A year ago. Am I leaving a lasting impression?
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. So that's one of the beauties of this networking and being the connector. You never know the impact that you're having, not only in that person's life right then in that moment, but the ripple effect of that and how you come back up in their memory when they're in some situation later on down the road. And then they hear something that sparks that memory. It's like, oh yeah, Steve said that. You need to meet him. And then that's how it happens. It just
I got a great, sorry to interrupt because you get me fired up here and excited. I've got a great story about doing introductions. So about 6 months ago, I introduced, I forget her name, but she's wonderful. Carrie, I think it is. Give her 3 referrals. She needed some help in healthcare and doing some stuff. And for weeks, she didn't respond. And finally, emails came out 3 or 4 weeks later, like she's following, hey, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. And then the next day, I get this email. I'm going to get very emotional. She writes, Steve, you don't know what you did for my family. I had no idea. I was just trying to help her, serve her. My 2 twins are special needs, and we've been struggling for 8 years to find resources to help them. Those 3 people you introduced didn't help my business, but you changed the trajectory of my family's life.
Wow.
Thank you so much. I read that tearing up. I'm like, but then I went, Renee, you said it so well. If you're not intentional and don't do it, I might have missed out on an opportunity. Like, I don't like her. I'm not going to introduce her. I just don't introduce people. It took me 2.5 minutes to do those video introductions.
Wow.
Look what happened. I'm sure there's other things I haven't heard because of doing introductions. I'm going deeper than business, but what does that come back to? When she meets people, she's going to refer people to me. Or I can reach out to people like that, go, I need help with this. She's more than willing to help me.
That's right.
Leverage is the word, but it's, you help me, I want to help you. You gave me a Christmas gift. Here's your Christmas gift back. Christmas morning's magical morning was magical. That's what I get to do every day when I do introductions and meet people. That's how I look at it. Anybody else can do it. It's nothing unique about me. But the uniqueness is taking action. A lot of people say, I will do it, but do they do it?
Right. Wow. Now, Lucille says that you reap what you sow. And Steve, I have to say 100%, you are truly a blessed man. And it is because you are such a blessing to so many people. So many people through what you do on a daily basis, just being your own natural, amazing self. Through personal engagements, whether it's one-on-one, over the airs in the podcast, over the airwaves of the television show, all of the things, the way you serve impacts so many lives for the better. And you, like Lucille said, you reap what you sow. And then we also have another great comment from Tiana, who said that is so touching. You never know the impact you have on others. So always be kind and serve with heart. Absolutely. From the heart. Because you just never know. Again, that ripple effect, you don't know. And even like one of the things that Chris Stone said to me when I was considering doing a podcast, he said, when you are doing a show, know that the words you speak in every episode will be heard generation after generation after generation. So make them count. Make them worth listening to. Add value to people's lives. And those words stuck in my head, just like what you're saying, Steve, stuck in my head. Marie says, great podcast. And inspirational. Thank you, Renee and Steve. Thank you, Marie, in the audience. We appreciate you and your input. And hopefully our words are resonating with you and will impact not only you, but those that get to cross your path as well. So, Steve, I love that story of introductions and how easy anybody can make an introduction. You don't need a PhD in introduction. You just need to be willing and have the heart to want to help other people. That's it.
Yep.
No special skills required.
And don't be tied to the outcome. That's a big thing that people ask me all the time. Well, just do it. I've never had somebody come to me. I may have people go, why'd you introduce me? But never come to me, hey, Steve, what an idiot you are. You're a bad person. Why would you do introductions like that? Me just saying it sounds stupid. People are not going to do that. So just now, if you can't do the introduction, of course, be authentic. I don't introduce everybody. But I try to find a resource. Or if you can't do any of that, here's the greatest way to serve. You can't do an introduction. You don't have a resource or tip to help them. Edify them. Renee, I love your podcast because you have wonderful people listening.
Awesome.
You XYZ person, you're a plumber. I love how you care about your clients. We all want to be seen. Maya Angelou said that great quote, which I never remember, how he made them feel. People want to be seen. I don't care if you're a multi-billionaire or struggling and poor. People want to be seen. So let's facilitate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And May says, I'm backstage wiping away a few tears. What an incredibly emotional message we received, Steve. Yes, it was so emotional, so impactful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That power that you have is also available to us to have the same impact. We can have the same influence, and we're nobody special.
No.
We're nobody special. We're just regular people. But we know people who know people who know people. And that's the difference that we can have in somebody's life.
Amen. Love that.
So, Steve, as we're talking about podcasting and media and influence and that sort of thing, because we want to reach as many people as possible while we're here on this earth to make an impact in their life. How have those mediums helped you connect other leaders and entrepreneurs?
It's given me more people to connect. So I built my network. If you have one person in your network, how many people can you refer? Or 5,000 like I do?
Right.
And build it. If you have 20 people in your network and you're listening, go out and build it. Meet 10 and 15 new people every week. Build it. Not everybody's going to resonate with you, but I always say 50%. You have 5 new people in your network. They give you a couple referrals. The next week, you meet 10 people. They give you 10 referrals. Now you're up to 30 new people in 2 weeks. I did this in January of 2020. I was selling a digital business card when they were really popular because of COVID. And I said, I'm going to meet a bunch of people. And I found a networking group that met 10, 15 times a week. So I'd go to 2 every day, 2 hours of just networking to meet new people. Because I'd gone through my contact list, which, by the way, audience, a tip, you want to grow your business, tell your contact list what you're doing because they don't know. I've talked to a lot of people. It's a great tip. I've done that and added 3,000 people to my newsletter, which is powerful. Yes. But so I did this January 2020. I kept meeting people and getting referrals. At the end of 8.5, 9 weeks, you know how many people I met, Renee?
How many?
Yes. Give me a number.
500.
That's exactly as many people as I met. 500 new people in my network.
Oh, my word.
And here's the power. I was the top sales guy in the company for those 8 weeks. Blew everybody out of the water. And people go, well, you didn't have 500 meetings. I said, no, I would meet Jim and Jim would send me 4 referrals. That's 5 new people in my network.
That's right.
And I was still meeting people, those 500 after that. But I was tracking it. I'm like, this is amazing. And that's where I learned. And my business partner now, Josh Tapp, wonderful guy. He taught me meet 10 to 15 new people every week. That's your goal if you want to grow your business, because you got to grow people.
Yeah. So meet new people. Those are loaded words. Meet new people. Okay. I can see some people in the audience going, well, how do I meet new people? Where do I meet new people? How do I keep track of all these new people I'm meeting? This sounds overwhelming. I'm not meeting anybody.
Okay. You don't need to be perfect at tracking all this. It's important that you track it. I'm not the best at follow-up. I'm getting better because I'm meeting so many people, every week. I was doing 12 meetings a day, meeting new people. I don't do that anymore because I'm busy with everything you talked about in the beginning. But I still meet people. I still want to help because I think it's a blessing when somebody says, hey, you got to meet Steve. It's all about, again, the value, the ASLA principle. It's going out to a networking group and just meet people. And if people resonate with you, go, hey, Renee, I'd love to jump on a one-on-one. Let's talk about let's discover what we're doing and see how we can help each other. Chamber events, Toastmasters, business conferences, a birthday party. You go to a birthday party. What's the first question people ask? Or a party like that's personal. Hey, Steve, what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah, that's kind of part of the conversation. And if they don't ask, I ask them, hey, Renee, what do you do? And the person tells me. I ask, shut up and listen. I go, that's interesting. You know, I'm a podcast host. You'd be a great guest for, and we're starting to do transactional in a sense. It's more transformational because we ask those questions. You can find people anywhere. I've found people at church. I've found people at the grocery store. I've run into people I haven't talked to in a while. What are you doing now, Steve? I'm doing this. Oh my God, I got a great guest for you. But you got to have an open mind about meeting more people. Now, new doesn't mean people you've never met before. Here's another great tip. And I love this because it works. Go back to your calendar 5 to 6 months. Oh, Jim, great meeting. Tony, not a good meeting. Okay. And find the people you had great meetings with and do a quick follow-up. Hey, let's jump on a call. That's new because everybody out there, I want you to think about this and answer with a comment. How many people do you meet in 5 months? New people.
Oh, wow.
How many people?
Put it in the chat. How many new people do you meet in a month?
Yeah. If it's 5 or 50.
Or 5 months,
If it's 5 people, well, when I follow up in 5 months, go, you know what, Steve? I just met this guy 3 weeks ago. He'd be a great guest for your podcast. Or, hey, you're looking for land. I just met this guy. I hear it all the time when I do follow-ups. And vice versa with them because I'm meeting new people all the time. So it's a great way to serve, building your network, because now you can serve people and grow your network and meet new people with the introductions and the resources.
I love it. And Tiana says that referrals and word of mouth are seriously powerful. And I concur with that 100%. Our business grew by word of mouth referrals for the first 5 years. And so it truly, truly, truly works. And she said that less than 5. So in the last month, she's met less than 5 people, but that makes it then, I think, a little bit easier than to follow up. You say, hey, we had a great call, just following up. One of the things too, that one of my coaches shared with me about follow-up. So when you're networking and you're going to these chamber events, or you're going to the breakfast meetings, or you're going to conferences, business conferences, or the birthday party, what she said to me is to block the next 2 hours after you return from that event for follow-up. Whether it's emails that you send out, whether it's adding them to your CRM, whether it's whatever it is, it's the debrief of the event that you need to actually put into your calendar to make time to do and block and protect, because it's so important that these people not get lost and not fall away.
Here's another tip too. I love that. Here's even, again, chin to nose, another service. I meet you at a birthday party and we start talking. Go, we need to talk. I grab my phone out and go, when are you available?
Right.
And book that right there. So if you're at a convention, try to book those meetings right away so you don't forget. And you can just, so that's another great tip that I've been a very wealthy guy, successful business owner taught me. So I start booking appointments right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, Jerome. Welcome, Jerome.
So I met Jerome this week, and you talk about being a connector of connectors. Holy camole.
There you go.
He is so incredibly influential and impactful. And I had such a great time on his show. And so I'm super grateful that he's joining us today on our show, on our live. And we get to talk about networking and connecting and the importance of relationships and being transformational as opposed to being transactional.
Yeah. Here's another tip. Sorry to interrupt. You get me so excited. Renee, you get me so fired up. You got my little engine in my stomach going, bah, 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 going crazy. So you want to meet people and quality people, podcasting.
Yes.
And let me tell you why. You get to meet a one-on-one person. You get to learn about them. You get to highlight them. They're super pumped because they know you're promoting them. And an opportunity door opens up.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some of my stats. I've done 685 shows in 2 years. I was doing 5 shows a day. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. I did it because it built my network to where I am today. I have changed my network so much where I can help so many more people. And those are new people. I have 5 companies sending me guests all the time.
Wow.
Love your podcast. I'll probably get 20 of those a week.
Mm-hmm.
I have to turn away or push back, because I'm booking in July for my podcast.
Wow.
In August.
Amazing.
And we're in April.
Right.
And the best, so I think podcasting is such a great way to meet new people. And not everybody can do it, but it's not that hard. If you just ask, shut up, listen, and ask in a podcast, like Renee is doing so eloquently on this show and giving great input, it is so powerful. And you're going to meet people that you would never think you could meet because everybody has a message. Everybody. Right. Whether it's Mark Cuban, who I'm trying to get on my show, don't know if it'll ever happen, but I've reached out to his team. Tim Tebow, big fan of Tim Tebow, big faith guy, doing great things. I've reached out to his team. Whether it happens or not, I don't know, but I can reach out because I have a message or a platform for his message that he can resonate with. So I want to make sure I said that.
Oh, that is so great. I love that you put it out there because they said, remember to tell people what you're doing. That's what you said. Tell people what you're doing. Yep. And so you just told us you want Mark Cuban and Tim Tebow on your show. So now, how many different people are going to be watching this episode? Somebody may know Mark Cuban and Tim Tebow to be able to share with you.
Yeah.
And get you connected. So
even more, and I know when I do a guest, I've got to talk about myself. I love talking about other people like you, but I got this week, somebody reached out because of my podcast, wants me to be in a movie. Let me say that again. We'll see if it happens, but said, would you be interested in being in a documentary about leadership because of your podcast? Flat out, that's what they said. I was like, wow, this is way cool. We'll see what happens. The next day, everybody know Les Brown, one of the top people. His team reached out and says, Les wants to collaborate with you. So, thank you. And the podcast, all of you out there that have podcast, you can do the same thing. Build that thought leader platform, be authentic and genuine, and treat people right.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Marie says it's important to act in the moment. I think that was when you were talking about when you're networking and you get information, you schedule that appointment right then. You get on each other's calendars right then. Don't wait. And then Jerome says, thank you for that acknowledgement. And Steve, second one of the prior comments on people appreciating hearing their names. Yes, that's what happens when you both acknowledge.
Real time. That, Jerome, God bless you. God, man, I love you. That is exactly. Jerome sounds like he's very successful. I'm successful. When somebody says my name, like you say my name on the show, and it's a simple act. I saw, hey, Renee, why don't I say hello too? Did it stop the flow? No, it's just recognize people, edify, 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 edify.
Edify, edify, edify. Love that. Let's put that up. Edify, edify, edify. There is no sweeter words than an edification from somebody else telling other people how amazing you are. So I love that. Ginger, I did not wait to connect with you with some of my, I did it right away. Yes. So when I was on Jerome's show, I'm going to put this up. When I was on Jerome's show earlier this week, he said, I like you and I'm going to introduce you to my friends. And he did it immediately, just like you said to do, Steve. He did it immediately. And when I looked in my, I had 5 messages. Jerome is introduced. He's like, hey, you meet her. Hey, you meet her. Y'all connect. It wasn't anything fancy, but he made the connections. I'm so grateful. I actually met with him, one of his connections, just before today's live, and she was an absolute rock star. When I tell you, I can't wait to have her on the show. I hope she'll say yes. But yes, so incredibly amazing. It is so important to act right away. Like Jerome says, like Marie says, like Steve says, act immediately when you meet somebody and you want to serve them. Act immediately with that servant's heart. Steve, I know we are getting down to the wire, and I want to make sure that people know how to find you and know how to stay in touch with you. But first, I want to congratulate you for the opportunity with Les Brown. I'm so proud of you, and all your hard work is truly paying off. You are being noticed now and will continue to be noticed in the future. Because you are just good. You are just a good person. And like Lucille said, you reap what you sow. So thank you for sowing such kindness and this wonderful mindset shift that we all need to make, not only as business owners, but as people. Just being decent people.
Just be decent. That's all. And if people aren't decent to you, then next, in my head, next.
Exactly. Now, I have one super quick question. I know we have less than 5 minutes, but one super quick question. What if I have an opportunity to meet with somebody who looks different from me and I feel maybe a little intimidated? What do I do?
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
The introverts I love working with them because they don't want to do a podcast, or they're uncomfortable thinking of a podcast. One-on-ones are hard. I had that point one time. Ask questions. Here's a tip. Have those questions down here. And they can be general questions. Here's some samples. What are your challenges? What are your goals? What are your desires? What are your passions? What's your purpose? What would you like to see happen in 3 to 5 years? There's 8 questions. I have all the people I mentor have them nearby or they use them. It's Brian McNeil, I think is his. Yeah, I met Brian McNeil from a group. He has 4 questions he asks all the time. Find out what those questions are. And they are going to lead. When you ask a question, what are your challenges? 99.9% of the time, because there's nothing 100% except for death and taxes, is they're going to tell you. I probably asked that question 100 times this year so far, and never anybody go to me go, why would you ask that question? Because you know why that question's so good? Because I care. Because if I hear her challenges go, I need to be on more podcasts, well, I'm going to introduce you to you. Renee's going to get an introduction because this is a great person because of their background. That's the real-time thing. That's those questions.
Wow. I love that. And then we just basically overcome the fear within our own self. Like, we're all regular people, no matter the color of our skin, no matter our nationality, no matter our upbringing, our financial status, it doesn't matter. We are all people who bleed red blood. And so because of that, we are qualified.
Amen. We have a heart and a brain.
That's right.
We all have that.
That's right. That's all we need. And Tiana says, one of the reasons it feels so good commenting and watching podcasts like this is when you get acknowledged or receive a shout out from the host and the guest. It just makes you feel important. Tiana, thank you so much for sharing that. That is so true. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And appreciate you so much for your active involvement in the chat today. Steve, we got 2 minutes. And I know that our listeners and the audience will want to stay connected and follow you and like and share all of your platforms. So please, please, please tell us how we can stay in touch.
Search Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. There it is right there. You could do research. I'll pop up. I'm the only podcast that's that. You can email me, stever1961@gmail. I'll get you the mentoring that I do for free. Also LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn every day. Steve Ramona, Ramona.
Awesome. And we got your pages coming up here. LinkedIn, Steve Ramona, Ramona.
Shout out to your team. I got to say it publicly. You have an incredible team. I've been on a lot of shows, over 150 shows. Probably the top team I've ever seen.
Yay! That's a hand clap. We take it. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Know that we are in the top. We'll take it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that compliment. Steve, you were made for something great. So go and be awesome.
Back at you. Thank you so much.